Hey Capricorn, welcome to this space. Welcome to Saturn in Aries. These readings, or this particular reading, is going to be probably pretty prevalent for about 3 years. Okay, so again, take what resonates, leave what does not, as I always say with these readings. But if this reading does resonate with you guys for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising placements, check your Moon or Rising placements for deeper resonance. But if these readings do resonate with you for this Saturn and Aries transit for the next couple of years, especially for those of you who are going through your Saturn return currently, definitely check back to this reading within, if you need to for the next couple of years, because there is a lot of deep-rooted changes that you may not even think are needed. There are things that you probably don't even realize, like problems that you may not even realize exist, that Saturn is going to be conversing with Aries about. So if you have Aries in your Saturn, this is your Saturn return. Congratulations. Okay, happy Saturn return. But others of you, even if you're not going through your Saturn return currently, this is still going to affect you. Okay, it's going to affect all of us greatly, this conversation that Saturn is having with Aries. And if you have Aries in your chart, this is going to affect you as well, more than others. But even if you don't, the energy of Aries, the traits and the attributes of Aries, right? Think about those traits. Think about what Aries contributes to society, right? Think about what kind of blocks Aries can also create. Okay. There could be blocks with anger, okay? Excessive anger, being a little self-centered, maybe. There could be blessings in leadership positions, leadership roles, your desires, your passions, right? Being a trailblazer in some way, or leading the way, or creating a new path that others didn't even think to create for them, for society, for themselves, for your family, what have you. This can pertain to anything in your life, Capricorn, when it comes to Aries energy. Some of you guys may have created a path, of success within your family that no one else has done before, whether it be going to college for the first time. You're the first person that went to college, or the first person to, make a certain amount of money per year. Maybe you're the first person to create a certain project, a certain charity. Maybe you're the first person to battle a certain illness, heal yourself from a certain illness, or to completely put to rest a generational construct or generational curse. Okay. So just think about what Aries means. If you need to look it up, to understand the energy of Aries, you will also realize that Saturn is going to have a lot to say about the pros and cons of what you're doing, how you're existing, the work that you've said you wanted to put in but didn't, things that you've sacrificed that you should have, continue to be determined to complete or to work towards. There could be things that you're holding on to that you should have let go of a long time ago, and Saturn is here to make sure that you remember the things that you've prayed for. Okay, Capricorn. So just make sure that whatever you've prayed for, no matter how long ago, Saturn is here to remind you. What did you pray for, Capricorn? What are you doing towards those prayers? Are you actually contributing to those prayers being answered, or are you blocking them when it comes to the energy of Aries in your life? Okay. All right. So let's pull a couple oracle messages for you guys, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising placements for this Saturn in Aries transit. I am reading for both. I intend for these readings to resonate with both tropical and sidereal charts, okay, if you're into that type of astrology. Interesting. Who got this one? Cancer. I believe Cancer got this one, emerging. Emerging. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck really quickly. Celebration. Okay, so like I was saying before, some of you guys, Capricorn, you could have accomplished, or you are beginning to accomplish something that others see fit to celebrate. Okay, this doesn't necessarily have to be an actual literal celebration of, or throwing a party. This can just be you just feeling Saturn pushing you towards an endeavor, towards a project, or towards a blessing that will have you feeling better than you've ever felt in your life. This can be you celebrating, I don't know, sobriety. Maybe you're celebrating a milestone. Maybe you're celebrating, again, battling an illness and, healing your body, getting your dream job, getting your dream home, moving to another country, having the opportunity to travel to another country or travel for a certain opportunity. It just depends on what it is. But this is definitely if you're going through your Saturn return, this is going to be a huge blessing for you. You are emerging, Capricorn. If you do have Cancer in your chart, I recommend that you go check out Cancer's reading. Cancer is your sister sign or your brother sign. So I would check out Cancer's reading, especially if you have Cancer in your chart. But you are emerging here, Capricorn. You are coming out of some type of, I don't want to say hiding, but maybe you have been hiding to a certain degree for a while. You've been kind of keeping yourself from being seen or even from being heard in a certain situation, or just in general in your life. Because Saturn is not just about a specific situation in your life. This is about like your life as a whole, right? Any blockages that are affecting you as a whole when it comes to the energy of Aries, of that fire energy, that motivation, that assertiveness, right? Inserting yourself into an environment or a situation that you want to be seen in. I do sense humble beginnings here as well. For you guys, there are some of you, there is something that maybe you opened a business, you started a program, or there's just something here where you started from sticks, right? You were just kind of like, you just had sticks to work with, right? To start a fire. But now you actually have more tools. There are more tools being granted to you. You're working to gain more tools, but that first started with you just utilizing the tools that you already had, no matter how humble those tools were, right? No matter how humble that beginning was. So I think Saturn is really going to have you guys looking back and realizing, hey, Capricorn, look back at where you were. Look at where you are now. Where are you? What is your perspective of where you are? Because I'm also getting some of you guys, there's this energy of maybe being a little bit pessimistic about where you are. Maybe you're kind of lost sight of where you come from. And maybe there's this energy for some of you where you may have taken for granted where you've come from. Therefore, you've lost sight of where you are now. You've kind of just forgotten, like, oh, like I'm actually pretty lucky. I'm actually kind of blessed right now. Things are not perfect, but they definitely are not nowhere near as bad as they were back then. Some of you guys, if this is actually a literal celebration, this is definitely something that may take place at night. You know, you may have a house party. You may have a surprise party. Or maybe there's just like a moment in time at night where you're really going to really feel like throughout this transit, you're really going to realize and feel like, wow, I've come so far. And you're really going to feel that deeply. That's what I'm getting here. Okay. So again, This is like, and you have a couple years, about 3 years for these energies to unfold for you. And it really does depend on the decisions that you make. Saturn is here to zero in and pinpoint what you're doing and what you're not doing. It's all about you. Like I've been telling everybody in these readings, it's all about you. Saturn is all about you, about banishing the ego. And Capricorn, I just kind of feel like with Saturn, like Saturn is your planet to begin with, right? Like that is your ruling planet. Aquarius can also be, you know, it also involved with that too, but that's your ruling planet. So I'm getting the sense that, you know, it might be a bit of a struggle because Saturn is in Aries right now, but that is your ruling planet. So I get the sense that to some degree, a lot of you are not going to really have too bad of a time or too much of a problem with Saturn showing up, right? In, you know, speaking to Aries at this time, you know, showing up in the constellation of Aries. That's your ruling planet. So I feel like if anything, you guys know what's up. You guys know how to get down to business and really get things done. You guys know, you guys can handle the brutal honesty of, you know, what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. If that makes sense. Let's pull another oracle message and then we're going to jump into the tarot. Okay, there was one card that wanted to show itself, but I'm going to split the deck to see here. Okay, so the card that was chosen from the top of the deck after the split is Amber. You have the stone of Amber. It says, give it to God. It says, take a deep breath and on the exhale, release this situation to God for healing and answers. So again, there's that energy I'm feeling for you, Capricorn, where if you're thinking more in a more pessimistic way, or this is not like, this is supposed to be like this, is supposed to be like that, or this should have happened by now, or why am I still dealing with this, blah, 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 right? Any type of pessimism that you might have towards a situation or towards your life. When it comes to Aries, okay, the energy of Aries, that motivation or, you know, a passion that you have or a dream that you had for your career or what have you, any type of aspirations. There's just some things that you don't need the answers to, at least not right off the bat. You don't need the answers to them. You don't need to do anything about a situation that bothers you. Sometimes you just have to just be like, yeah, that bothers me, but it's like, whatever, you know, it exists as it is, but you know, I have my own emotions, my own soul, and you know, my own life to improve. Right? Doesn't matter what's going on outside of you. Doesn't matter the frustrations, because frustrations are going to come with the things that we pray for. They just are. Because there's a light in the dark to everything. So you just have to give it up to God. You just kind of have to let your ancestors handle it. Let your creator handle it. You know, whoever you believe in as far as a higher power or divinity. You don't have to do anything about it. And especially I'm also getting, because the card that I'm going to show you that tried to show itself, I'm also getting that it's okay to ask for help, Capricorn. Did I say this to you? Why do I feel like I said this to you the last reading I did, or maybe a couple readings ago? But there was either a full moon reading or the new moon reading where I feel like that is your message still. You are not an island. No human being is an island. Because what creates an island are multiple biomes, multiple constructs, multiple habitats and inhabitants. You are one person, Capricorn. The card that wanted to show itself is Sodalite. The one that wanted to interrupt my shuffling. It said socialize or join in. Remember how I was saying earlier, like, you know, think about Saturn is in Aries is like teaching us, like, where do you want to insert yourself? Where, you know, if you can insert yourself in any situation, what would it be? Right? Or who would it be with? This is, like I said, no human being is an island. No man is an island. No woman is an island. And you emerging with this card, emerging here in celebration, to me, that involves people. Anything in life involves people, whether we like it or not, because we were born on a planet, and it took two people to bring us into this world, right? And it took two other people to bring our parents into this world, and it took two other people to bring our grandparents. There's always people involved, Capricorn. There's always people involved. It's okay to get involved, and it's okay to allow others to get involved, as long as it's healthy, as long as it's your love and your energy and your work is being reciprocated, right? As long as there are healthy contributions to this togetherness. Bottom of the deck, you have aquamarine, and it says divine life purpose. So Saturn is here. You're not the only person, you're not the only sign to get this life purpose type of energy in your reading. I feel like everybody, Saturn and your sign, Capricorn, has a lot to do with purpose. Like, what are you doing here? You're here, but what are you doing? What is your purpose here in this situation? Or, you know, just kind of questioning, what am I doing here? What is my purpose in this scenario? And if you're in any scenario or any situation or environment where you are not needed, then you should not be trying to force yourself into that environment. You should leave. You should make your exit and get back on track with where you are needed, with where you are, and in some cases where you are wanted. Because sometimes where we are not wanted, sometimes those are the environments that we need to also exit. We don't need to force ourselves or force our love or force our understanding or help onto anybody. As flowers bloom and they emerge, they're not reaching out to other plants for help necessarily, right? Yes, the roots, they do communicate with each other, obviously, but that's their communication system. But you never catch any of the roots being intertangled with each other. When plants emerge, when they grow, they need space. That's what healthy relationships, that's what I'm getting here, Capricorn, is like these healthy relationships, they have to allow space. That does not mean that you have to be 100% alone, right? Like I said, no man is an island, no person, no individual is an island. So every single tree has a purpose. We just don't necessarily see that deeper purpose, but if you go underground and you listen to the roots and you see the science behind that, trees have a purpose towards each other and towards other plants, right? But there is still that healthy space, okay? There is that space to grow. So if you do pull yourself away for whatever reason out of a situation, Capricorn, just make sure that you are not doing it to hide, but you're doing it to recover, to be rejuvenated. At some point, a butterfly has to come out of its cocoon at some point, even though it's pretty much dead inside of its cocoon. It has to go through death, but it still has to come out of its cocoon at some point. It's got to come out. So do you. And this is for those of you who are in hiding, or you are not really sure about how you feel about being social, or you know what I mean? And even if that's not what you're dealing with right now in your life, maybe you're just dealing with maybe feeling stuck. I don't know what you're dealing with, but overall the messages still stand here. Just give it to God, give it to your ancestors, just give it up to divinity. Allow them to transmute the energies that you're putting out, that you're giving up. Whatever you can't control, let God transmute that for you. Okay. So maybe join a group, join a program, go to a workshop, go to a class. I don't know. Go hang out with some friends for a while. Okay. If there is something that you want to be a part of, maybe you have some friends, or a long time friends or what have you, they're doing their own thing in a group, and maybe you just haven't been a part of it, but you've been thinking about being a part of it, then go be a part of it. It can be something as little as brunch. I don't know, dinner, breakfast, lunch. It can just be something where it's like, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that conversation, or I want to be a part of that outing. That's what I'm seeing here. Could be some of you guys, your birthday was very eye-opening. There are some things maybe this year, or maybe in the next couple of years for your birthday, that you'll start realizing some things and your eyes will be opened. Your birthdays could be very significant. Others of you, maybe the celebration is a wedding, maybe somebody else's wedding, maybe there's something that you have an epiphany about, or maybe it's your own wedding, maybe it's a baby shower, I don't know, housewarming party, housewarming gifts, an anniversary, or a milestone of some kind. Let's go ahead and pull some tarot for you guys, Capricorn. Again, for sidereal astrology, if you are a Capricorn, this reading is for you. But if you are more resonating with the Western astrology of Capricorn, you more than likely are probably a Sagittarius. So that is a message there. But if not, if you are a Capricorn, and then these messages will definitely resonate with you. But it's like, if you are more resonant with your sun sign, then the more physical, tangible aspects of this reading, your money, your love life, your family, your friends, your health, is going to resonate more with you than opposed to those of you who are listening for your rising or your moon sign. Then the more spiritual and emotional aspects of this reading will resonate with you more. Okay. Which I will touch on and as best I can. All right, so you have the 8 of Swords. You have the Hierophant. So you have Taurus, Aquarius, and then you have Mercury, which is Gemini and Virgo energy. The bottom of the deck, you have the Hanged Man. So overall, what I'm getting here, Capricorn, is there is a perspective shift for you currently, or maybe if it's not current right now, it will be in the next couple of years. Okay. There is some type of mental shift, or a shift in your perspective about your life, about your success, about a relationship, or just relationships in general. Okay. Maybe there's a group of people that you had a certain attitude towards, or you had a certain perspective about, and now that's changing, either for the good, or for the better, or for the worse. I don't know, depends. But what I see here during this Saturn transit into Aries, as Saturn travels through the constellation of Aries, like I was saying, you guys are feeling a little bit stuck with the 8 of Swords, with this Aquarius energy, because Aquarius is present with Saturn, because that is a planet that does rule Aquarius as much as it rules you. So there is this energy of just, again, I like seeing the Eight of Swords because this is not like the universe or God is stopping you. You know, this is not, it's not that. It's you're stopping yourself up here. I also see swords as the voice, the tongue, words, communication, verbal communication. You could be stopping, you can be blocking an opportunity, Capricorn, just by the way you talk about yourself, how you talk about what you want, your desires, right? To me, the Eight of Swords, when it comes to speech and communication, verbal communication, it shows me a person who really doesn't know what to say. They don't know how to be clear in their conversations. You know, they're not really clear about what they think about what's going on around them. They're not sure because you're not seeing clearly. You haven't been seeing something clear. There's some clarification that is needed here within this situation or within your life. And because you're not really seeing things clearly, or because you're not sure about a situation, or you're not sure about your success, there's some type of uncertainty. And because that's how you think about this situation, or that's how you see this situation out, being, you speak in that way. So maybe there's those of you, maybe it's just your mind, it's your mental that you need to kind of clear up. You need to come to terms with like, what's really going on up here when it comes to your life, when it comes to you as a person, right? When it comes to your desires. Are you clear about it up here? And are you clear about, like, are you speaking clearly? Like if someone were to ask you, Capricorn, what do you want? What do you want to achieve in 5 years? And if you're kind of sitting there like, huh, I never really thought about that. That's that's the energy. Like that's just an example, okay? It's just a really rough example. But that's what I'm saying. The Eight of Swords gives unclear energy, lack of clarity. It's not just you being stuck, it's the energy of having a lack of clarity. But you can gain clarity because we do have the energy of Venus, because it's the Hierophant. This card is ruled by Taurus, okay? It's a Taurus card, so therefore Venus is present in the masculine form, okay? Divinity is both masculine and feminine, okay? But the Hierophant can also be Saturn as well, okay? It can be Saturn, it can be Pluto, it's just that powerhouse of energy that says, look at yourself objectively, look at the situation objectively. Let's not choose sides here. Doesn't matter who you think is right or who is wrong, whatever. Doesn't matter what you think. Well, I've been going through this for this long. Saturn is not here to listen to that. Saturn is here to say, hey, so why haven't you addressed this? Why haven't you started that project? And again, we're talking about Saturn and Aries. So, or, why haven't you, I don't know, why haven't you proposed to your partner? Maybe there's some really personal things like in your personal life. You can look at your personal life and it will draw a really clear picture of what's really going on inside of you. So the Hierophant is very clear. We're going to clarify these cards eventually, but the Hierophant is very clear. There's magic involved. God is involved, right? Divinity. It's just divinity is involved in this card, where you're sitting here feeling like, where is divinity? Where is my divinity? Like, where are my blessings or what have you? I don't know. There's something where you've been feeling stuck. But then divinity comes up and is like, well, I've been here the whole time. I've been communicating with you the whole time. However, you've been stuck. You haven't seen me. You haven't heard me. You haven't. Why? Because there's also the Eight of Swords is like somebody who is also like kind of left at the edge of their seat, or they're just kind of left, like, it's just somebody who is a bit scared. You know, they're just kind of left to just think the worst. But the Eight of Swords is an energy where it's like, it's not as bad as you think. Okay? It's not as bad as you think, Capricorn. That's the big picture that Saturn is trying to help you understand about something, or about your life in general. Is like, this is not as bad as you think. Like, whatever it is that you're not stepping towards, wherever you're not willing to insert yourself, whoever you're not willing to talk to because you're like, well, I don't know how they're going to take this. Or maybe you might already have this belief that, oh, if I talk to this person, they're going to reject me. If I send in that application, they're going to reject me, or my portfolio is not good enough. Whatever. Those are your thoughts. You've created that world of a bit of a, like, illusion. You've kind of created that illusion of, I'm not worth their time. The work that I've done is still not good enough. I need to try harder. I need to do this. I need to do that. But honestly, like, you have help with the Hierophant here. You have help, Capricorn. And once you, because it's interesting how you level up during this Saturn return. This is what Saturn wants for you. You go from the Eight of Swords, which is probably where you are now, or maybe this is where you were in the past. And then as Saturn continues to move through Aries for the next year or two, you hit the Hierophant. You hit that point where you finally receive help. Like, you finally, or not even receive help, you open your eyes to the help that's in every present moment with you. You have friends, you have family members, you have colleagues, you know, you have different opportunities that are presented to you to help you emerge, to help you grow, to help you thrive, to help you be seen, to help your work. If it's not you wanting to be seen, then your work is going to be seen. It's going to level up. So for those of you, you're like, oh, my work's already been seen. I have a following. I have this. I have subscribers. I have this. I have that. I have clients. Great. But that's going to level up now. If you thought that you've already hit, like, if you feel like you've already hit the ceiling, or you're like, there's more. There's more. There are more clients. There are more people who want your services. There are more people who want to see what you're made of. Because you have the Magician here. This is power of self. This is realizing that this magic that you see as external to you, as like a divinity or another entity, or, you know, maybe those of you guys who struggle with religion or spirituality, maybe it's just this idea where you're just like, there's no other being. Why am I going to talk to another being to give me help? Well, I see this as, there are energies outside of us, but they're also inside of us as well, as the Magician. This is realizing divinity within self. This is Mercury energy, the Magician. This is Virgo. This is Gemini. This is the mind. This is the mind and the mental behind the work you're doing. Virgo is all about getting things organized, getting things done, you know, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, right? It's mental power. It's that mental prowess here, Capricorn. So all I'm seeing here is that you need to change what fuels you mentally towards the work that you're doing. Something is changing in your mind. Because if you feel like you've hit a plateau, for some of you, it just means that it's time to level up here. Yes, there's more. Okay, so that's what Saturn and Aries is trying to teach you, is like, Capricorn, there's more. This isn't it. There's more. And you may be thinking, like, what more can there be? Like, Saturn's like, no. Trust me, there's more. And Aries is like, yeah, there's always more. Like, Aries is always going to be trailblazing, constantly going, right? The Saturn is just here to say, okay, let's just slow down for a second and really look at where we are right now. Let's take inventory. You know what I mean? All right, let's go ahead and clarify these cards really quickly. Let's clarify these cards, Capricorn. I hope this is making sense. So Venus and Mercury. Saturn, Venus, and Mercury can be some very powerful planets, excuse me, that you look into or even work with if you want. But we also, as far as zodiac signs, if you want to think about signs, people who have these zodiac signs in their big three, their sun, moon, and rising place or rising placements, Aquarius, Virgo, Gemini, and Taurus are here. So let's go ahead and clarify the Eight of Swords, Capricorn. Eight of Swords for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising placements, ancestors. Thank you. Yeah, there goes that. Okay. Yeah. So Saturn is asking, or your higher self, your spirit, under this influence of Saturn and this help from the energy of the planet Saturn, is asking you, yes, to kind of like leave the past behind. Whatever's hurt you, move on. Okay, we have the nine of wands here. Be resilient, be determined. This is Leo energy. So whenever I see Leo, it's that energy of like, I have more to give. Yes, I'm hurt. I'm a little bit busted, you know, I'm a little bit, you know, bruised. But this is somebody who's like, I'm not going to stop guarding what belongs to me. I'm not going to stop, you know, doing my job. Okay, this kind of just reminds me of someone who's like a guard or something like that. Like this, they have a job to do, and yeah, they got a little bit bruised, right? But they have a job to do. This is that determination, the energy of Leo, the energy of the sun, right? So there's something here regarding family. There's something here regarding childhood. There's something here regarding the past. Okay, for those of you who believe in past life karma, that is also here as well, because we have the Six of Cups. So yeah, this is like that generosity in the past. Like there's something regarding your past. Some of you guys had a really beautiful past as a child, okay? But I do get the sense that Saturn is going to have you questioning, like looking back at your past and remembering where you come from. With the Page of Cups here, that's Pisces. Okay, it's the little tiny messages that you get in your dreams, or the little feelings and emotions that you get when you think about your childhood, or you think about where you come from, or you think about the roots of your business, if you have a business, or, you know, your humble beginnings, right? And what Saturn is asking you, you have Gemini here, which is the Queen of Swords, okay? This energy is that clarity I was talking about. You have the Eight of Swords being clarified by the Queen of Swords. So you have to be the one to cut through this uncertainty. This is, when I see like the court cards, when I see major arcana, I see that as divinity stepping in, right? Your soul finally, or like a fragment of yourself finally landing, or, you know, entering this existence and waking up inside of you, right? But whenever I see the court cards, this is you doing the work. This is you cutting through the BS. This is you speaking clearly about what you want. This is you making it very clear to someone about what you expect from them, or what you don't want from them, or whatever. This is you being clear about what you desire, about what you want, and where you're going and why. And that's because you look back at your past. There's going to come a point where you look back at your past and you're just like, man, that was tough back then. Or my parents really worked really hard. Or man, it was tough. It was hard. It was grueling. Whether it's happy or sad memories, how has it built you to become this? This is where you're starting. This is where it starts. It starts with you cutting through the BS, Capricorn. It starts with you being clear about what you truly want. Let's go ahead and clarify the Hierophant for you guys. This divinity. This is you reaching out and being like, okay, there's got to be something more. There's got to be some help out there for me. And then there's going to be something else. There's something else that reaches out to back out to you. There's something else divinely placed in, like, to say, hey, we hear you, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Okay. So there's a point where the past hurts. There's a point where something in the present has now become the past and it hurts. You're upset about it. Could be some fights involved, some stubbornness. This couldn't be connected to your father. Okay, but we do have Aries here. There we have the god of war. Then we have Mars here. So Aries is here to be like, listen, leave the past behind. We have Saturn here who's just like, okay, I'm reaching out to you. I'm listening to you. I'm giving you the tools. And Aries is like, okay, take the tools and move on. Start building here. Start creating. There comes a point where you realize, you know what, like, how long am I going to cry over this? How long am I going to be disappointed by this? How long am I going to let this bother me? How long am I going to be fighting about this? How long am I going to be fighting with my own prayers and blocking my own blessings? How long? Because what you don't realize is that you're about to change the history of your family. You're about to change some ancestral patterns here, Capricorn. It's going to be one step at a time. And you know this. Again, you're ruled by Saturn. So you already know there's going to be one step at a time. This is not hurry up. But Aries is still here to say hurry up. Because Saturn is like, hey, let's sit down and talk. Let's sit down and like address this past issue. And then Aries is like, well, yeah, address it and move on, right? Stop sitting there lingering on it. That's the energy that I'm getting. All right, last but not least, let's go ahead and clarify the Magician here, Capricorn. And then we're going to pull one oracle message as your overall advice. Just kind of close the reading off. Okay, yep, we have Leo present. We have here you are, Capricorn, the Queen of Pentacles, whether you're male or female. Yeah, then we have the Six of Pentacles. So towards the end of this transit, Capricorn, towards the end of it all, when you come out of your Saturn return, or if this is not your Saturn return, when you come out of this Saturn and Aries transit, yeah, you are going to be ready to rush towards what you want, to finally insert yourself into opportunities that you probably would have ignored or just kind of skipped past because you're just like, well, I'm not ready for that, or I'm not good enough just yet, or I'm not good enough for that. You're going to insert yourself. You're also going to receive information or support from others as well with the Knight of Swords. So you need to surround yourself with people who are speaking. Remember, swords are all about communication, speech, and the mind. These are people who think highly of you. They're proud of you. They love you. They care about you. They have respect for you, and they speak that. Their actions speak just as loud as their words, okay? Those are the types of relationships that you want to build at this time during Saturn's transit through Aries. But with the Strength card, the Queen of Pentacles here, this is like this is you standing firm and remembering, like, this is why I'm doing this. So what if it's scary? That lions are scary. They're big. They're powerful, right? But the Queen of Pentacles and the Strength card is like, listen, I've been through it. I've been there, done that. And I'm ready to create even more abundance, more peace, more contentment, a different type of contentment in my life. This is somebody, the Queen of Pentacles is someone like, her house, her home is protected. Her house, her home is her refuge. People who come over to her house, whether you're male or female, people who come over to your house, they feel safe. And if this is not your home, this is like a a business. Like every time they walk into your business, they feel welcome. They feel like, yes, I want to be here. I want to support Capricorn. I want to support their business, whatever. Right? And they know that you're vetted. They know that you know what you're doing, Capricorn. So if these are clients or customers, these people know that your company means business, that you mean business, and that what you have to offer is worth their money. But if this is your home, people know that when they come over to your home, they're gonna feel welcome. It's gonna be the best hospitality, right? Um, and it's just gonna be so fruitful with the Six of Pentacles, guys. Like some of you guys are really gonna have a lot to offer, so much to give. Some of you guys may end up creating your own charity. I don't know. Like there's gonna be people who really, you're gonna help a lot of people, Capricorn, during this. You're gonna realize that there are people that need help for some of you, and you're going to do the best that you can to make sure that these people are helped, that they're on their feet, right? And paying it forward. That can be for some of you, but others of you, your relationships, whether it be relationships with clients, customers, business partners, your family, friends, new friends, or old, like even when it comes to your sexual relationships, like there could be a very romantic partnership that comes out of it, or you're, even if you have an existing partnership or romantic partnership with someone, it's going to be so beautiful. And you may even open a business with your partner. Maybe you already have, right? Maybe you're going to end up, you know, creating a beautiful home and moving to your dream home with your partner. Okay. So this is like, if this is a romantic situation for some of you, it's very giving. Like this person is going to be somebody who's like, I trust you, Capricorn, whatever it is, wherever you want to move, wherever you want to work, whatever, it's like, I'm here to support you. Like they're going to be here to give you whatever it is that you need to make sure that you guys are, you know, financially supported, you know, and emotionally too. All right, let's go ahead and pull one last card, you guys, for the closing of your reading, for your overall advice and what you need to work on currently. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising placements, ancestors for this Saturn and Aries transit. Let's see. One ring circus. Yeah. No man is an island. That's beautiful to see this card. No man is an island, Capricorn. You can put on a show by yourself for as long as you want. That's fine. Like, we know that you can do it. We know that you know what you're doing on your own. You're very independent. But at the same time, there comes a point where you need to call out for help. You need to say a prayer, make a wish. I don't know. Whatever it is that you believe in, you know, as far as wish making or prayers or asking for help. Those are your messages, Capricorn. Much love and light to all of you. I wish you guys the very best of luck on this journey. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you guys in your next reading. Bye, y'all.